we've heard incredibly strong words, Ambassador, from the US. Is there anything the US, plausible, anything that the US could do at this point to actually make a difference?
You're wasting your screen time letting your folks hear these words from the White House, because we hear them again and again. This White House will take no action to try to stop this carnage. It doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand what's at stake here, and it cannot act without using some sort of military force, which it has refused to do.
That's a very strong statement. I mean, maybe they... Are you saying all the way back in 2013, that was when the mistake was made, that you do buy the idea that a vacuum was left and Russia filled that vacuum?
We've seen exactly that. Your previous commentator has mentioned that this is a civil war. It certainly is, like Sri Lanka, like Colombia, but you can't understand this without recognizing it's part of a much larger struggle, an effort by Iran, now enabled by Russia, to spread its influence and power deep into the Arab world: Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, who knows what's next. And the efforts by Turkey and the Arab states to resist that. That's what's going on. We normally, as America, played a role with the rest of the West in balancing those kind of things. We have not played that role.
And can I ask what military action you would take at this point?
I would declare Idlib, where the rebels are, a no-fly zone, put American fifth-generation F-22s, which cannot be shot down by Russian under usual circumstances, over it, and start dropping in supplies by American transports, and say that if they're struck at, we will strike the bases from whence the attacks came. Something like that is what's needed now. If we cannot do that, and I don't think this administration will, and perhaps the next one won't, at least start giving very effective anti-tank and anti-aircraft weapons to the rebels to try to drag this thing out and to get it to a political settlement. Right now, these guys, that is the Russians, Iranians, and Syrians, are going for a total victory by smashing the entire population. Today, Aleppo; tomorrow, the rest of Syria.
Yeah, I mean, the danger is, of course, you just prolong the war because they won't give in. You don't let the other side give in, and so the war just goes on endlessly. We know these wars can run for 15 years if there are outside parties financing two sides and trying to keep the war going. And that is the danger of the route you're suggesting, isn't it?
Well, if you like what's going on now as the alternative, go to it.
There are people who say it would be better if the side won and you stopped having what you've got now. Is that not an argument to be made here?
Again, if this was Sri Lanka or Colombia, where the government side in the end wins, even though the other side might have its own grievances or its legitimate complaints against the government, that's one thing. But this is no more an isolated civil war than the Spanish Civil War, to use a now ancient example, was an isolated civil war in the 1930s. It's part of a much larger struggle for the entire Middle East that has an absolutely strategic impact on what's going on in Europe, what's going on in North America, what's going on globally.
You mentioned a little earlier that the new regime, which may take a different approach. Just talk me through what you think Trump will do, because most of us are assuming Trump will be much more favourable towards the Russian perspective in that part of the world, indeed in every part of the world. And Trump certainly views this as a much more binary conflict between ISIS and everybody else. And so in some sense, Trump may take a view rather closer to the one I was just putting to you.
It's certainly possible, and nobody knows. But first of all, he is very much opposed to Iran's activities. Now, he has gone after the Iran nuclear agreement, the JCPOA, which is the one thing I like, and most people do like, about the Obama administration's handling of Iran. In and of itself, it's not a bad deal. The problem with Iran is not that for the moment we've got their nuclear program under observation and control. The problem with Iran is their depredations throughout the Middle East are not under control, and that's what he's going to have to deal with. That's what he's going to hear from the region.
And actually, very interestingly, you've hit on potentially what is a sort of contradiction in the clues we have about Trump, which is he's more pro-Russia, but he's more anti-Iran. And at the moment, Russia and Iran are the two allies fighting together in Syria.
he's mainly pro Make America Great Again. He cannot make America great again if he doesn't deal more effectively than President Obama has with the depredations, as I said, of Iran in the Middle East and the challenge to the entire global security system that Russia is making. There's no way to make America great and try to live with that. There are ways you can do this more militarily, the ways you can do this more diplomatically, but you got to do something different.
Ambassador Jeffrey, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.